everyone, welcome to week 4 of my book club. I'm so excited to receive all your week 3 questions from you from here. And you guys asked me some fantastic questions this week. So let's get into it. First question, how did you feel when you had to take care of your kids and everything else all by yourself? This is from Mrs. Link's class. Oh my goodness, it was so much work, you guys. It was really, really hard. And the thing I really remember is being unsure whether we can get any eggs from the grocery store. Do you guys remember that? Like, it was a real dilemma going to the store and coming home with actual groceries, because I'd go to the store and everything would be gone, especially things like milk and eggs and sometimes even bread and rice, flour. Like, I remember trying to make my kids some cookies, just some chocolate chip cookies, and flour is running low. Of course, toilet paper. You guys all remember that. That was hysterical, but also not funny, not pretty. We got through it. We were creative, and I remember, sometimes having to stock up on tissues instead of toilet paper. Did you guys ever have to do that? Yeah, it was fun times. Did you actually allow your daughter to give you a makeover? And if so, how did you look? This is from Ms. Kaffa's class in Oregon. Okay, so my daughter loves makeovers. She really, in real life, loves that kind of stuff. She loves doing face masks and all this kind of stuff. She loves watching these tutorials on YouTube. So she's always constantly trying to give me a makeover. Have I ever let her? I think we've played around with some stuff, maybe played around with concealer, but I try to stay, minimal makeup. I just don't really like the way it feels on my face. So I have not allowed her to give me a full makeover. If she ever does, I promise I will make a video and show you guys. Was your older son really frustrated with his middle school? This is a serious question from the Treehouse Bunch in Palo Alto. And the answer is yeah, it was really frustrating for him. I think it was frustrating because for a lot of Asian Americans during this time, there was so much confusion and anxiety over the pandemic, over the virus, and a lot of times that frustration came out in the form of mean things that people said, and they would oftentimes be directed at Asian Americans. And this is something that you definitely saw happening all over the country during this time, and it was really hard, and it was really, really sad. And it brings me to another question that Miss Kettleson's class had from Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is, did your family really experience racism during this time, such as the coronavirus tag? And the answer is yes. I'll never forget, my kids came home from school one day and they told me that they had to play tag at school. And I was like, okay, tag, yeah, I've played that as a kid. They're like, no. This was coronavirus tag, and we had to be it. And my heart sank when I heard that. I just was like, what? I remember feeling very sad, and I remember feeling like I had kind of failed, as a mom, because I brought them here to keep them safe. And that was sort of why we came, my mother bear instinct to bring them here to keep them safe. And although we were safe, we were really safe in our house, we had no idea there was going to be this wave of hostility. And I felt like I had let my kids down. But we did also learn and grow and have conversations together as a family. And those are the conversations that I think made us stronger and brought us closer together and made us better prepared for the future. Similarly, are a lot of the scenes in the book based on real events. For example, the scene where Knox destroys the Mountain Dew display at the grocery store. And the answer is, well, my kids definitely have gotten into their fair share of mischief at Target. Although I don't know if they've ever destroyed an entire display of Mountain Dew. There's definitely been times where, they'll knock over a display of paper towels or something, and we've had to restack the paper towels. But I'm not sure that they've ever created a flood of Mountain Dew in Target. But I'm always worried that's going to happen. A really wonderful question from Mrs. Conklin's book club. We want to know what superpowers each person in your house has. What a great question. So creative. So I would say probably my daughter's superpower is that she has a lot of creativity. She's always dancing around and doing some really cool artwork. And she's also really helpful. Like if you're dealing with a problem, she'll try to help you solve it. She'll always have a lot of suggestions and she's always down to make some sort of flyer. My middle son Tilden, who Knox is based off of, his superpower, I think, is having a lot of empathy. Whenever one of us is going through something, and he'll come over and he'll be the one to pat you on the back and say, let's talk about it. What's going on? So he has a lot of empathy. And my oldest son's superpower is, I think he just has a really amazing ability to think positively about things. Like he'll be going through something and he'll be very positive about it. Sometimes I think he bottles up the hard feelings inside, which is definitely, something that people do as a coping mechanism. But in general, I think he tries to tell himself everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. Another question is Christopher's restaurant real, from Ms. Goldberg's class in Ann Arbor? Well, we definitely had a lot of restaurants in that area, which were Asian American restaurants. A lot of times they did suffer. Actually, I would say restaurants in general during this period suffered big time. And that's because people simply were not going out as much. So who's your role model when you were becoming an author? Great question. So my role model when I was becoming an author was Ann M. Martin, who wrote The Babysitter's Club. I loved The Babysitter's Club growing up, and I loved how honest she was with kids and discussing real issues, things that a lot of kids are going through. And I always aspire to be really honest with you guys. And that is why I wanted to write a book about the pandemic, because it's something we've all gone through. The last couple years were really hard, and it's wonderful through a book to be able to go back and re-examine and finally talk about it. So that's what I love about writing. Another question is, what books did you like to read growing up? And I have some really cool books right here. I love to read this one, which is Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry. This is one of my favorite books growing up. Of course, Charlotte's Web. Is Christopher based on a real person? He is what we call a composite character. A composite character is a character made up of the personality traits of several real people, and they become this super character. What is your favorite thing to order at In-N-Out? So I'm a classic person. I like just a normal hamburger. I don't need anything fancy on it. I like to eat that with some plain fries. I love the In-N-Out burger fries. And I like to get a milkshake. So I think I love a chocolate milkshake, but I could also do with vanilla. And my favorite thing about the In-N-Out burger, believe it or not, is the sauce. I think it's like a Thousand Island sauce, but it's like really cool sauce that they put in. I think it used to be called the secret sauce, but I have since figured out that I think it's Thousand Island. And finally, is your daughter into fashion as well? Does she want to be a YouTuber? Wow, what a question. This is from Ms. Pennell's class in Bloomington, Indiana. Well, I have not heard from her that she wants to be a YouTuber when she grows up, but what a high compliment. She is into fashion. I don't know if we're that fashionable as a family, but I think we love to get a good deal at TJ Maxx, which is my favorite place to shop. And we like to have fun. We like to have fun and express ourselves, including through everything: clothes, art, books, posters, dance, you name it. I think that she has potential to one day, dance her way onto whatever channel. But, for now, she's enjoying just being a kid. And I think that is the best part about being a kid, is to not think about being famous or anything and just focus on the moment and focus on having fun, reading a lot, and making friends. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I can't wait for the next week's questions. Happy reading, you guys.